Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys in California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we're going to talk about more confirmation of the true prophecies that are unfolding day by day. As you can see, the Gentiles haven't had any understanding of prophecy, and they just manipulate events in order to try to fulfill their own delusions. All the while, they have been ignoring the true restoration of the Most High's chosen people. And see, in other books that we need to get into, we're going to get more confirmation of prophecy. See, many people have not seen some of this information we're going to be bringing out. But what you're going to be able to see is that it confirms what we have gone through. And no one has been trying to look at these books, especially these books on supposed Freemasonry. And no one's been trying to manipulate events to try to make it seem as if these prophecies and these events that are in these books of Freemasonry would come to pass. The only person that would be making these events come to pass would be the Most High. It would not be man, because the priesthood of Mahan and the world has been at odds with Freemasonry. They've gone out of their way to try to make it seem as if they are the evil ones and that the churches are next to godliness. And we all know that that's absolutely not true. See, I've just been kind of in deep thought, just thinking about these churches and the wool that they've pulled over everyone's eyes, and society, and how people, even through like the fact that they have lied about everything, they lie about everything continually. They don't bring out any truth. They don't substantiate or prove anything that they say. People still follow these churches. They still follow them blindly. They don't make them prove anything. And when information comes out that exposes them, people are quick to ignore that information. Oh, well, we all sin. Oh, well, we all need forgiveness. Well, you haven't been saying that when our people, made mistakes. It wasn't, oh, everyone sins. No, no, for our people, it's throw the book at them. We have laws. We have to abide by the law. Society's all about laws, and we got to make sure that everyone follows the laws. When it comes to us, that's how it is. But now that the other nations are being exposed, they're trying their best to give them a pass. And that's not going to fly. See, all of a sudden, it's about love. Everything's about love now. Now that you're talking about, people are like, well, we need to learn how to love each other better. See, when you had the opportunity to love the Most High's chosen people, you chose the opposite. Now that you see that your grip on reality is slowly, being taken off, you're losing that grip. Now you're trying to fall back on the whole love doctrine, which you've never, ever believed in. I'm going to check out this book real quick. Okay? This is the cover of the book right here. The Secret Tradition in Freemasonry and the Analysis of the Interrelation Between the Craft and the High Grades. Now, in a book like this, talking about Freemasonry, would you anticipate it talking about Israel? Would you anticipate it talking about Israel and how everything in this reality, everything as far as prophecy, everything as far as esoteric information, all revolves around Israel? See, if this group here, this book here was talking about nothing but devil worship, then why is it talking about Israel? See, if you're taking it from the perspective of the churches, then yeah, I would demonize this information, because the churches have tried their best to take the place of Israel. The churches act as if, when the books were written, they were talking about white Christianity. They were talking about white Jesus. When the Bible was written, they had white Jesus in mind. They had Caesarea Borgia in mind. They had Gentiles running the churches in mind. Thousands of years ago, when our people were going through, all of the suffering, somehow it wasn't about our people. It was about a church that was going to be raised up in the beginning or at the end of time, that was going to be responsible for rape, robbery, and murdering. And that those were going to be the people that Yahushua came to save. This doesn't make absolutely any sense. You're going to be surprised at what you find when you actually read some of these books. Let me take a look here at the top. Well, we'll start with what it says, the house. Well, I'm going to have to come to this other section a little bit later on. I want to go down a little bit. Let's see here. I'll just start with House of Many Hollows, which was accessible under certain circumstances, until someone or more than one of those who went in search of it should succeed in attaining thereto, and should take over the custody of the place, together with its mysteries, or alternatively, of the sacred objects only, after which these were either removed or the doors were sealed up, and no one else went in. It is a mystery of attainment and withdrawal, the latter being on the surface final. Here also the mode of attainment is in many texts by means of a verbal formula. Now to attain this information, you're going to have to go to many texts. In order to get this information, you will have to go to many texts. And you got to understand, like, the churches have gone out of their way to only give you one book, because this goes against how we are going to attain our knowledge once again. There's no way we can attain all of the knowledge, the vast knowledge that we had in one book that the churches have prescribed for us. Their job has always been to keep us on an exoteric, superficial level. When you understand that, then pretty much anything that they tell you, you understand. You need to understand is at a very base level. They were never given the esoteric understanding, so therefore they've got to fake it and make it seem as if what they are telling you is very deep, when it never was and never is. That's why when you're looking at your feeds and you're looking at the videos that are popping up, there's nothing new. It's just very repetitive. They're always trying to sensationalize events. This is about to happen. World War III is about to happen. Here comes the microchip. Here comes, again, the New World Order. Oh, money is going to be gone, and we're going to have to go to digital money. Oh, food's gone. This is gone. This shows you that they are on a very exoteric level, and they're not capable of going deeper. The ones that will go deeper are going to go to many texts in order to attain, the information that was lost. That's how they knew that that their grip on society and reality was coming to an end. They're not looking at just, remember that people are always like, oh, they're looking at Israel, to try to figure out what's going on. Yes, and real Israel is going to be different. That's why not all of Israel is of Israel. The ones that are, that say they're Israel, but all they do is follow Gentile doctrine, let you know that they're still under the priesthood of Mahan. If they're still trying to keep you away from anything new, they're trying to keep you from attaining any new information. Now let's continue. Skip down to 17. In the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word, until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. Now, why would this be in a book about Freemasonry? See, this shows you real prophecy. See, that's why they've been coming up with all these fake prophecies, because they're trying to fit their events into the one book that they've approved. But this here is letting you know, in the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word. Is not all of real prophecy that's being fulfilled right now all about us recouping our knowledge, recouping our heritage? That's what we have been concentrating on for the last few years. Gentile prophecy has nothing to do with the recouping of the sacred word. They act as if the sacred word is only the Bible, because that's what they've approved, and that's all that there is. Now you're seeing the two paths. You're seeing who was responsible for the loss, the suppression, the reduction, substitution of the sacred word. The church, the priesthood of Mahan. So therefore, they can't talk about these kinds of things, because they were the ones and are the ones still that are responsible for those actions. Now, it also talks about, and until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. So, until the restoration of these things that were lost, okay, there was going to be sorrow and exile for Israel. So Israel was not going to be going back 70 years ago into the promised land, because there was no restoration of the sacred word. The people who put Ish in that land were the same ones that have been responsible for the suppression of the sacred word, for the reduction of the sacred word, and for the substitution of the sacred word. So the ones who have been responsible are going out of their way to try to give the world some type of fulfillment of some type of prophecy, so that the whole world won't realize that they've been responsible for hiding everything. And the hiding of all this information is what keeps Israel in sorrow and exile. See, that's why they've been hiding everything, because they've been wanting to keep Israel in a sorry, state and exiled. Now you understand why there's all these books that are hidden. Now you understand why, when you talk about certain books, you get attacked. I remember bringing out the Book of Enoch on my channel years ago, and how all these different channels from all these different camps all of a sudden started jumping on the Book of Enoch, which I found very peculiar, because all these different camps were all at each other's throats. But for a couple of weeks, they all were on, well, we can't trust the Book of Enoch. We don't believe in the book of Enoch. We don't believe in these other books. All of these groups, all of these camps were all pushing the same doctrine. And when they push that, they are responsible for keeping Israel in a sorrowful position and continue to be exiled. This is why you have to be very careful. Some things might sound good. Some things might sound right. But are they going to keep Israel in a sorrowful position? Are they going to keep Israel exiled? When you have someone that comes in and reads one book and then acts all of a sudden like that's all that we need. We don't need any more. We got all that we need. Don't look anywhere else. That idea right there, all that does is keep Israel in a sorrowful position and continues to be exiled. When you start talking about other books, the Kabbalah, these other books like this, I'm not teaching that. I don't believe in that. That's witchcraft. There's a lot of hidden information. And see, as you can tell, in the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word, until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. All of this, hiding information is all about keeping us at the bottom. Now you understand why we are at the bottom, why we've been at the bottom for the last few hundred years. Now you understand why they got over here and they hid all the information, why they came over here and handed our information to everyone else so that we would never be able to find our way back to the Most High. Because all of these countries, all of these people are all confederate to keep us in a sorrowful position and exiled from the Father. All of them. If they're not telling the truth, if they're not admitting the truth, then just know who they're working for, who they're with. Now you understand, all the scriptures, like I said, it's hidden all over the place in our Bible. But you don't hear these churches talking about it. You don't hear them talking about Jeremiah 17:4. Right here. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So these churches don't talk about that fulfilling prophecy. They don't talk about the group that's happened to. That has not happened to Ish. So if it hasn't happened to Ish, who's it happened to? Who's still running around here calling themselves African Americans? Who's still running around here calling themselves black? Who's the one here that has accepted the history that their enemy has given them? When you got that Hosea 1:10. Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. This is just letting you know. This is why they've been letting you know about the suppression of our information, the hiding of our information, and how important that is. Romans 11:25. Like I said, it's all over the scriptures. But how many churches talk about this? If you've been in church, are they talking about the true Israelites losing their information? And so all of Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion a deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. But let's start at 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. This book here is just confirming these scriptures. This is why it's important to go to other books. This is why the part up top told you, here also the mode of attainment is in many texts by means of a verbal formula. You have to go to many texts and you're going to see how they connect. This book here on supposed Freemasonry is linking up perfectly with the Bible. It's linking up perfectly with other books. You go to the dry bones in Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. You got that information right there. That links up perfectly with Enoch when it's talking about all of the animals coming and pecking and eating the flesh off of the sheep. All of that is all, so now you got Enoch, you got the Bible, and you got this book here on Freemasonry, all saying the same things. But you have none of the churches talking about this as far as prophecy is concerned. You don't have camps talking about this other information. You don't have groups that are supposedly in the truth talking about this information. You got Psalms of Solomon. This is why these other books are hidden. In the Psalms of Solomon, you have the Old Testament pseudepigrapha, page 653, talks about how our memory, they obliterated their memory from the earth. They have obliterated the memory of Israel from the earth. They have made our books to be evil, witchcraft. Don't read that. Don't look at that. So let's read a little bit more. In the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word, until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. They don't want us to be reconciled. That's why they continue to suppress our information. Let's continue. Here it is, a mystery of withdrawal, but the recovery, though delayed, is certain. The recovery, though delayed, is certain. There's your hunger stones. There's your 1616. Get ready to weep, Israel. Get ready to weep, Israel. You're going to go through a famine. You're going to go through rough times. You're going to lose all of your understanding, all of your history. They are going to, what did it say right there? The other nations are going to do what? They're going to suppress your information. They're going to reduce it. They're going to substitute it. They're going to substitute our sacred word. This is prophecy. These are the prophecies that they do not want to talk about. But the recovery, though delayed, is certain. So now, just like that stone, hunger stone, 2018, your last year of enjoying your blessing. Gentiles, that was the last year of you enjoying your blessings. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. 2018 was the last year of you enjoying your blessings. That was the last full year of you enjoying your blessings. Because in 2019, the Father started shutting everything down. So even though it was delayed, our restoration has been delayed. It is certain to come. And that's what you're seeing going on right now. Why would they be talking about this in a book on Freemasonry? Why would they be talking about something like this in a book that supposedly has been written by the devil? I just showed you right here how these prophecies are much clearer than the ones you're seeing from these churches. These prophecies right here are right in lockstep with what you see in other hidden books. It's also, it goes lockstep with what's going on even in the Bible, the real prophecies. See, the churches don't talk about the real prophecies in the Bible. They give you Left Behind. They give you fiction. And that's what they've been doing this whole time. But now, as your eyes are opened, you can see the fiction every day. They have to sensationalize everything. Oh, what happened now all of a sudden? Oh, they're attacking a nuclear plant now. So now, there's a nuclear, possible of a nuclear holocaust or nuclear problem going on in the Ukraine now. So stay tuned. It was funny listening to Paul talking about, I think, Stephen Fletcher, because I think he was trying to talk about them getting rid of money later on this year. And, Paul got on him about Steve Fletcher about, him being wrong about so many different things. Because the Gentiles, you guys are all wrong. You guys can call each other out all the time. Because you've refused to accept the truth. We've brought out many scriptures in the Bible you say you love, and other books as well. But you refuse to accept the truth from us, which is fine. You're going to accept it nonetheless. You'll accept it now or later, but you're going to get this. 1 Peter 2, 9 and 10. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. See that right there? But the recovery, though delayed, is certain. Right there, right? He did what? Called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. That's exactly what's going on right there. Calling us out of that darkness. Yeah, it's been delayed, but it is certain to happen. Which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. I said, so this is absolutely amazing. These are the real prophecies that you see going on right now. You just look at that 17. That fits prophecy perfectly. In the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word, until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. Here, it is a mystery of withdrawal, but the recovery, though delayed, is certain. It's a mystery of withdrawal. See, the whole world plays dumb. The Vatican has all of our information. Britain has a bunch of our information, in museums, a bunch of our artifacts. The Most High has hidden a lot of our, pyramids and information inside of these pyramids in jungles. But we're going to get, but the recovery, what does it say? Though delayed, is certain. We're going to get it all back. Because that's all part of the prophecy. That's all part of this circle of life. But how do you get this information? How do we know that the Most High has given us this information here at the end? Look at 19. In the literature of alchemy, the antithesis of the usual testimony is borne consistently by innumerable writers. It is a literature of attainment only. The object of research is always in the world. It is nearer than hands and feet. But it cannot be known except by the communication of a master through some other channel of secret instruction, or by the act of God in illumination. Either there's a master that's going to teach you, open your eyes to this information if you have the spirit to accept it, or it's also an act of God in illumination. The Most High has to illuminate you. The Most High has to send the Holy Spirit, the all, to breathe this into you. That's why I know, like I said, my brother, the 12, and I, among a few other brothers, is like we've always known that something's missing. Even when we came into this truth and we were watching camp videos and we were watching the camps, and we used to love to watch GMS 26, GMS Chicago 26. We used to watch IUIC. You always used to watch GOCC at times, even the 3-4 hour videos. We used to watch all those videos. Great information, got us to a certain point. Used to watch Zabak. Used to watch all these different groups. Got us to a certain point. But then, it's like something's missing. Listen to my boy Yaiquab. It says, but then it gets to a certain point, it's like there's something missing. There's more. It's got to be more than just this. There's got to be more than just these 80 books. There's got to be more than just, the 66 books. There's got to be more. And then the Most High breathed into me. They sent the Holy Spirit to breathe into the all, to start to let you know, like, okay, start checking out this book. Check out this information. This has been hidden from you. This has been hidden from you. But then when you start to get into it, your people that you can share with gets smaller and smaller. If it's a bunch of BS, if it's a bunch of just, things just to waste your time, you can find millions of people that want to go back and forth. Talking about sports, talking about your favorite team, talking about some TikToks, talking about some other things like that. Football, basketball, who's getting traded, who hurt themselves. Oh, look at, I say all that, you can find millions of people to talk about. So I want to talk about the Bible, the people you can talk to, that little circle gets smaller. You start talking about other books, even smaller. Start talking about Kabbalah, Zohar, other information, even smaller. Start talking about Freemasonry and how that actually fits in with the Bible as well. Your sphere gets smaller and smaller. Just like the Bible said. Exactly what the Bible said it would do. But you've got to touch base with all these different things, because you've got to become as a child again. You got to be willing to go wherever the Most High sends you. And many are not willing to do that. They might want to learn a little something, but then it's like, okay, that's enough. I'm good. That's all. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm good. I don't need any more Most High. But some of us want to keep on going. Just like I said again in 2 Esdras 2:7, let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant. Just like in the Testament of Asher, Old Testament pseudepigrapha, page 818, verse 7, you shall not know your own lands, tribe, or language, but he will gather you in faith through his compassion and an account of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Just like I said at the top, but the recovery, though delayed, is certain. That's what it says right there. But he will gather you in faith through his compassion and on account of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So either the Most High is going to send a master, or he's going to illuminate you himself. That's why I said this information is jumping off the page. This is why you cannot be limited to just the Bible that your enemy has approved for you. It's like they tell you that if you want to make it to heaven, you've got to follow the 10 commandments. If you want to make it to heaven, you've got to follow the 10 commandments. And then you get into this truth. If you want to make it to heaven, you got to, try to observe these 600 plus laws, as if you can earn your way into heaven. But see, the churches don't even follow the 10 commandments. They don't even follow the 10 commandments, but they tell you that you have to. So if they're telling you to make it to heaven, you got to follow the 10 commandments, and they don't follow them, then do they really believe that in order to get to heaven, you can earn your way by following these commandments? They don't believe, thou shalt not kill. They've done that. That's all that they've done. Thou shalt not covet. They've coveted everything that we've had. They shall not, you should not covet, is like, hold on. You have all of my stuff under the Vatican. You have all of my artifacts in your museums. You have my lands. You have been exploiting my resources, my gold, my silver. So how can you say that if I want to make it to heaven, I got to follow these 10 commandments, but you don't even follow them yourself? You don't even follow the thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet. I mean, we can go through all the other ones if we wanted to, but we're just going to talk about those two. So if you really believe that, then you wouldn't have done all the things that you've done. So you already know that those laws, and he said those laws don't apply to you. So therefore, you don't even observe them yourself. That's why many people need to stop worrying so much about what the Gentiles tell you, how they tell you how you have to earn your way to heaven when they don't. Like said, hey, show me your example. Show me what you've done that you guys, have earned your way into heaven before you try to teach me how to get there. See, like I said, so you can see these prophecies right here. These people don't believe. They don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in our books. They walk around with them, but they don't believe in them because they don't even teach from them. If you look at the Odes of Solomon, Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, page 767, verses 10 through 13, the deceiver and error will imitate the beloved and the bride. They will cause the world to err. They cause them to vomit up their wisdom and their knowledge. That's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they've said they've done. So like I said, one more time. Here also the mode of attainment is in many texts, by means of a verbal formula. Many texts, many books. In the literature of Kabbalism, the specific aspect of the verbal formula is found in the loss, suppression, or reduction and substitution of a sacred word, until the restoration of which there shall be sorrow and exile for Israel. That's exactly what has happened to us. And as we get more knowledge and understanding, you start to see how we become more free. Free in our thinking, free in our spirit. And we know that's going to manifest physically as well. But the Most High has to awaken us and prepare us to be able to, accept and accept this new freedom that we're going to be having. Once again, this restoration that we're going to be having. Here it is, a mystery of withdrawal, but the recovery, though delayed, is certain. Many of us, are antsy, anticipating because we're seeing the switches, we're seeing the changes, we're seeing the other nations losing their grip. But just understand that though it's delayed, though it feels, this recovery of our knowledge, understanding, recovery of our lands, our treasures, it's coming. Even though it's delayed right now, it is certain. And it's hard because we've been awakened and we see so much. But just know that it is certain. And if you're getting this understanding right now, understand that this is, through God, the Most High is illuminating you. So that's when you look at these Gentiles now, you see the shame on them. Even if they don't see it, we see it. We see the things that they're doing. We see the fact that they don't want to accept the truth. We see them trying their best to ignore everything that they see happening with our people. We see how they watch our videos, look at this information, try to go back and talk about it themselves, and they just botch it all up because it's not for them. It's not for them. The Most High is separating the sheep from the goats. You can see the separation already. You can see by the lines of prophecy. You can see the Gentile breakdowns, and you see the Most Highs. And you see the difference. And you see how our Father is working to make ours come to fruition, while the other nations and the things that they say are being shown to be nothing but lies that are falling on deaf ears more and more every day. So thank you, Father. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for awakening us. And thank you for showing us that your prophecies, your promises are written in many books and many texts. And thank you for leading us to this information in order for for us to be able to bring it to the world and be the light to the world. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.